I'm big.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed. It's also lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
We have
The mic. The mic is gone.
See if you can. It was on before. Try pulling that one and putting it out. No, the part that it attaches to that.
Talk to the people.
But they can't hear me though.
Yeah, they can.
Oh,
they got the MacBook.
We will get our
They have
official
the- they have
mic,
the-
our lit up mic, which
they have
you
the-
guys can't see,
the MacBook
unfortunately
mic.
for you. It's all like colorful and stuff. It was great. Oh, here it is. Well, nope, there it goes. The mic is from, actually, they came from our DJ Middle Up. Gave us that mic.
Yeah.
Ian, we are going to actually put the better mic. Like keeps blinking. All right, you guys, you know what it is. Another birthday. I wish I had control of that button.
Actually, I do have the thing.
That's why I said I wish I had control of that button.
Oh.
I need to. Maybe I should get one that I can really.
I just muted that thing so nobody can even hear it.
Oh no!
All right, go ahead.
All right, you guys. DJ. Today we're actually celebrating, I believe, to my understanding, on the official day.
On the actual day. Shout out
Yep.
to DJ Kevin, by the way. Gang, have we done anything from DJ Kevin?
We did one song previously for DJ Kevin, but here we are.
Here we are.
Alter Bridge is our first song. I am gonna do you guys a solid and
Greetings and salutations to all of you beautiful people.
I'm gonna give you guys timestamps. I know how much you guys like that. Listen, I can't do anything. Some people are getting pissed off because they're like, why would you even bother to upload a silent review? If you are watching us from YouTube, that's because when we do these reviews, we keep getting blocked by YouTube.
Correct.
So the only thing that I can do is literally silence that part so you can like potentially open up 2 tabs and then you can play the reaction and play the song also in the background so you can kind of get a feel for it. But if you're like, I'm not doing that, then head on over to Rumble because Rumble is allowing us to post our content
in full.
Cow. All right, so go over there and you can access it there. I should probably put the link to this Rumble one in the description of this video. But yeah, there you have it.
Rogelio, thank you very much. Mr. Rogelio Pinelo says, I like your guys' videos. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Also, let us know if we pronounced your name correctly.
Cry of Achilles. Uh-oh.
Yes,
first.
This is by a band by the name of Alter Bridge. Cry of Achilles is the name of the song. Now, this right here is the stream key. I have no idea.
Wait, I thought that this was
That's a stream key, ain't it?
Yeah, but I think that's from not the Ocarina of Time. What is that?
Zelda?
Zelda. I thought it had something to do with Zelda.
Wisdom, power, and courage. It might have to do with Zelda.
it just reminded me, like, I felt like I could hear, like, the sounds of the Zelda video game in the back of my head when I saw that symbol. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this has to do with the, airbender thing. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for Kevin to inform us, ignorant people. Yeah, timestamps are gonna be in the description, guys. Let's check it out.
Look at that, Kevin. You got your thing right there. All right, guys, here we go. Song number 1.
Alter Bridge.
This guy says Creed Forever.
Creed.
Ian says, do you mind turning your mics up? Do you mind turning your mics up? We're almost on the yellow.
Ian, maybe it's your headphones or your
Maybe
speaker.
it's your headphones. Yeah, you weirdo.
You know what? You want me to just pull that up?
It's called the Triforce, and yes, it is from Zelda.
Yes! I got it!
The Triforce.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. Let me just...
The Triforce,
Let me
they
just
say.
put this-
Yes, it is from Zelda.
Yes! I got it! Yeah, I believe that it's, This is a you problem, Ian. Hate to tell you that. He says, I promise it's not me, just as I played it out loud. I mean, you heard it. Of course, you probably didn't.
Here goes Cecil. He's about to make some magic. All right, guys.
All right.
Song number 1. Song number 1 comes from a band that we all know. It's Alter Bridge. And Alter Bridge was basically Creed without Scott Stapp, basically, I think is what it is.
Oh, really?
Hey! Tina in this bitch! We got a lot of cool people up in here. All right, now we can officially start the party.
Yep.
Because Tina Banks is in this bitch.
We got Tina. Listen, I'm lonely on Rumble. Please go over to the comment section on Rumble and speak your words to me.
If you get the only way you're gonna be
I've
able
got
to
Tina and I've got Ben over here.
yeah, get on there, because the more we get the Rumble thing, then the more unedited videos we have to do, etc., etc. It's fun. All right, guys, here we go. Song number 1 is Cry of Achilles from a band by the name of Alter Bridge for the birthday boy himself. You can see the Triforce right there.
Okay, and Kevin, just so you're not surprised here, the official videos get blocked by YouTube, so in order to hopefully be able to kind of push that off until at least the end of the stream, we're going to watch the official video over here. We're going to play the lyric video for everybody else, but we do have access to all of it, so we're still going to get the visuals and sound here, okay?
Yes, sirree.
So have no worries.
Yes, sirree, Bob. All right,
Sit back
guys.
and enjoy your birthday.
Enjoy indeed. Song numero 1, Cry of Achilles. Let's do it. That was pretty crazy.
The music video was really interesting. It's a whole story, and I don't know if you saw this part. Here we go, 245. The story was kind of sad because here's the kid. He's drawing away.
Okay.
His dad comes in. Just watch what's about to happen. Watch the father's face when he realizes. So there's like this bad character that's like wreaking havoc in the whole kingdom. Actually, looks like killed the mom. And see, he's looking at the pictures of him slaying the thing. His dad's all proud. It looks like there was like this pendant on a tree, and like the king and the queen like went out into like this foresty area, and it looks like they're sort of like in love, and he's like has this little smirk on his face and follows her, and then he sees this pendant on the tree, and when he pulls it off, like the whole thing changes. It actually looks like he stabs the bad character, and then when all the darkness goes away, he realizes it was actually, I think he actually is the one that did it. If I understood that video correctly, it was pretty crazy. But I love the scenes where I'm not sure if it's the daughter, but like when the soldier character went out there to fight and didn't make it, she goes to the edge of that precipice and she's like screaming at this thing, and like they have this, I mean, it does look like it got overcome. I was a little bit confused as to how. Maybe there's, I don't know like enough about these gems and stuff like that, so maybe there's a longer story. This might be part of like a concept record or something. But I liked the scenes, like when she's sitting there before she goes out and like does her shit, she's like sitting there and she looks like she's getting sick of dealing with all of this. And then she goes out there and she takes care of business, but she goes face to face with that demon. I loved the music video because I actually, I don't know what the lyrics are because you couldn't see both at the same time. But I love that's kind of a concept that I talk to my kids about a lot. The engaged few. Hello. I talk to my kids a lot about like your own demons, your own monsters that you have to face. You know, anxieties and fears and different things like that. Like they're all encompassing, and the more space that you give them, the more they're gonna take from you. And so for me, this was like really, really like good. Like one of our kids was, you could see she progressively was like kind of like getting more and more like not sociable, like, and I could see like it was kind of like boxing her in a little bit. And then, you know, we were talking about it and stuff, and you know, I'm sure that there's like lots of other things that I'm not going to get into, but anyway, she ended up like facing it, and like it, like the day that she faced it, stuff drastically started changing for her, and like I can just see like she's just opening up more in a lot of different situations. But everybody has to have like that sort of like not final battle, but that battle where it's like the hardest. It's like you want to run the most, you want to not face it the most, but you face it anyway, and like that's the decided moment that it takes a turn, and it's not as difficult after that. Everybody's gonna have that moment. It's not gonna keep increasing. Eventually when you face it, it does change it. So yeah, so I liked the video for that, and I liked it that it was the girl. I'm just a little confused how she was able to, like, I don't know what the blue was that was coming from her eyes and that like came from the monster's eyes, and then she got the necklace of the red. I don't know. Again, I think it's probably maybe a concept album, but I liked it. Lyrically though,
yeah, we got the lyrics up there, so we're gonna get into it. I assumed what the song was gonna be about, and I think my interpretation is gonna be pretty similar to what I assumed relative to the lyrics. But let's jump into it. So, the term Achilles heel usually speaks to a person who has a bunch of capability or whatever, but then they have this flaw that
it comes from that mythical story, right?
Yeah, Achilles.
And we know
Troy.
what Achilles is. Yeah, Troy. But is that who the character was, like in mythology? His name was Troy? That was just in the movie.
No,
though,
his
right?
his name was Achilles.
Oh, that's
Brad Pitt character. His name was Achilles.
That's where we get the Achilles heel from. Is from that story.
From that story.
That's where we named that body part.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but it's this idea that like this person would have been completely and totally legendary, but they've got this one flaw that kind of holds them back, but it's that flaw that makes them that great in the first place. And so, you know, dealing with that paradox, we call that an Achilles heel. So I originally, The Cry of Achilles, I originally interpreted the song based on the title to mean things about a person that are going to end up doing them in, and how you work around that. So that's kind of the idea, I think.
I mean, the interesting thing about an Achilles heel is that if Achilles, now that I know men's name was Achilles, if Achilles had known that that was his weak spot, and that was like the only place where an arrow could get through to ruin him, then he would have put something over that. But because he was unaware of like that small spot of weakness, because there was so much strength about him that didn't even come into his view, I think that all of us have an Achilles. All of us have that Achilles heel. And if we can recognize our own weakness before the devastation befalls us because of it, then we can shore that up and put some armor over it. I mean, that's also part of the reason, like, you know, you have a spouse. Like, it's easier for you to see my weaknesses sometimes than for me to see it, and vice versa. So then you help each other out. But yeah,
you have no hope otherwise.
You have to find that weakness, and then
I was talking to a person. I said, if you were delusional, how would you know? Right? And like, really, the only way to know that you're not delusional is to have people around you who know you and know reality itself. And that's one way of protecting yourself from your own delusions. But if you don't have anybody around you to call out those issues, then you're kind of doomed to failure. And you have, anyway, lyrically, crying out. Now you can't escape. You're buried in doubt.
This is right. I forgot about this. According to the myth, Achilles' mother held him by the heel when she dipped him into the river Styx, which made him invulnerable to weapons. So he was everywhere, but the one part she was holding him, that's the you can't do everything.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's the Achilles. There. Yes.
Thank you, the engaged few.
Thank you, engaged few. All you engaging people over there on Rumble. Yeah, like that's I didn't know that about like the dipping.
I forgot about it, yeah.
In that movie Troy, they don't show that, but they show his mom talking to him, and she basically says, if you get on that boat, you're not coming back, but you'll basically be a legend forever. And so for him, it was like, I'm getting on the boat. I'm going to get on the boat. Simple Plan is going to take me back to high school, and I'm here for it. Shout out to Randy. I'm very surprised, Randy, that you were a Simple Plan guy. That's interesting.
Tina says it's the same as Zeus's elbow.
Achilles, is that well, she's asking, is that the same as, you know how Tina's always joking. That was probably a joke.
Oh, God. You know, when I read stuff, I make so many assumptions. I didn't, there's a question mark.
Well, I don't know. She might not be joking.
Well, no, I made it like it was a statement. That's how I read it. Okay, so lyrically, let's check it out, because I am...
Now you can't escape, you're buried in doubt, and it pulls you down. Now you're in too deep, you may never get out. Such an awful place. What do? Tear it down, it's almost too late. In the end, coming now, as you scream out loud, you sever the peace till your truth has been found. Ooh. You sever the peace till your truth has been found. Is there nothing left to follow? Is there nothing left to steal? Crying out for something more than I've been shown, knowing none of this is real. Don't close your eyes. Something beautiful is still alive. Don't close your eyes. Never turn away and let it die. I can't seem to find the answers. Every truth has slipped away, and all that riddles me will never cease to be. Still I search this world in vain. Cry out to save tomorrow. It's not too late, or your heavy heart will follow you to the grave. This is not the end. We can't hesitate. Hope is not too late, for the time has come. What have we become? Nothing left to do but to deny the truth.
Whoa, wait. What?
Brutal.
Well, this person's talking about... Well, what do you mean brutal? I thought it was kind of hopeful. Like, don't close your eyes. Something beautiful is still alive. Like, it's still sort of this holding on to hope. It ends with
nothing left to do but deny the truth. That doesn't sound very hopeful to me.
What have we become? Nothing left but deny the truth.
I mean, that can't end well if you're denying the truth.
No, I agree. I guess I was kind of hoping that there was like sort of two paths here. There's the one path where it's like, okay, you can hold out for hope and don't close your eyes. Look for that beautiful. Don't turn away and let it die. Like, but then if you don't do that, then the only other thing available to you is that you would nothing left to do but deny the truth. Like, so those are your two options.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. You know, like a lot of how you interpret stuff depends on your experiences, I guess. But you know, we've had these conversations. Like, I'm not a believer that people are always going to change or come around or see or do the right thing or whatever. Like, you know,
right.
There are lots of situations where that does not happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. So, like, there are situations when it does happen too. Like, I don't know. Kevin says, and Kevin is the birthday boy, as is the theme for most of the songs tonight, I believe they are talking about not giving up hope and enjoying life no matter how hard things seem to be.
Mm-hmm.
Which, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I see that that's a skill. That's a skill. Like, having hope is a skill that can be developed. And I think, you know, a lot of times when people talk about emotions, they put hope in that category. But I'm not sure that hope is actually an emotion or if hope is an actual state of mind. Obviously, our mental states are a lot easier to control than our emotional states. But that's an interesting perspective. It's almost kind of like a stoic sort of like, well, stoicism, you're not really trying to be happy. You're just trying to see things as they are and realize that there's not really a value to the event, positive or negative, other than what you pour into the meaning of the event, which is still something to think through. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
I wonder if it's kind of like, you know, when we talk about the concepts of love, like you'll have some people say, well, love is a choice. And then, you know, other people are like, love is an emotion. And when you know, I'm on a lot of different forums with, like mom forums and women forums and marriage forums and all kinds of different stuff. And that is sort of like, you see what happens, like people, well, I just fell out of love for the person, so I don't want to be, like nothing horrible, nothing tragic happened, but because they fell out of love for the person, they're gone. And it's like, well, I mean, there is, I think it's both. I think that there are times where it's easy to love and emotions just kind of like flow. And then there are times where choice is involved, where you're like, no, this is my person. And I think that hope is the same way. I think that, because, I mean, I've been through times where I felt very hopeless. And it does get really dark when you're completely hopeless. But then, you know, I guess nobody wants to be in that place where it's sort of like, you know, you're hoping for something that can never happen. Like, you know, but for me, because I'm a Christian, the big thing that kind of comes into my mind is that God promises that he works all things together for the good that are called, that love him and are called according to his purposes. And it also talks about that, you know, I think about this all the time. I've been thinking about this for probably the last 6 months. I picture, because Jesus talks about a feast table in the end of everything, and we're all sitting around the table, and he says that he's going to dry all the tears from all of our eyes. And that to me is super significant, because I'm like, okay, it may not work out here in this life. Like, some stuff just doesn't work out. Like, some things don't. But in the end, like, we're all going to sit around that table, you know, that are all part of that family. So I guess, so for me, I kind of like hope to like the future, then that kind of like gives me hope in the now. But yeah, I think that hope is, I guess I would, and this is probably where we're different, I would rather have a bit of blind hope that may be based in nothing, in maybe not even so much reality, but that gives me a little bit more to like enjoy the day, because I don't want to spend my whole life like, I guess I spent a chunk of my life in fear and afraid of all the things that could happen and things that could go wrong. And there's always something more. Like, there's always something, and especially when you have so many kids. So yeah, I think that fear and hopelessness and all those things, they all kind of like, they're all like cousins of each other. And but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you sever the peace till your truth has been found. I mean, truth shows up a lot of times in this song, and that's one of the more that's one of the
Saw
things.
once.
That's one of the things that's beginning to happen in our culture, and that's why there's now a resurgence in religious curiosity. Is that now we're at the point where we're dealing with the ramifications of postmodernism, and nobody likes it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you can't plant your feet anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you democratize the concept of truth, if you make it so, hey, we got 350 million people in America, and everybody gets their own individual truth that we're supposed to look upon as valid, right? And so if you do that X 350 million times, you're going to get what we have now, which is very interesting. The tribalism that we're seeing right now in America is more about people, a collection of people who hold to a truth claim. So it's like everybody gets their own truth. Everybody gets the right to have their own truth. Nobody's truth is better than anybody else's truth. They're all kind of even, right? And then it's like, so now we've got 350 million people, and none of us are that original. So you're going to have maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people who have the same kind of rubric that you're operating from. And so now you have these tribes, and these tribes are all self-contained, and they only report to each other. And so there's no way to get out of that echo chamber or that information loop relative to what's actually true. So now none of us are dealing with shared realities anymore. We're not dealing with, you know, the truth would be that which corresponds to reality, right? That's what we mean by true. But the problem is like we are now operating from completely different realities. And so that actually creates a lot of the tribalism and conflict that we end up with, because you've got millions of people saying, no, this is my truth. Then you got another millions of people saying, no, this is my truth. And my truth trumps your truth. And there is no third party, like court of arbitration that can say, okay, this group is right, this group is wrong. And so now what's happening is people are reacting and saying, okay, let's go back to religion. Because in religion, at least there was some sort of thing we could operate from and say there's a shared reality. And so now people are starting to abandon postmodernism. It's pretty interesting.
My thing is, I've heard people over the years talk about how religion has, you know, it's been the source of so much suffering in the world.
Sure.
And like, but when you look at, like, let's take the biblical documents, the Bible, and when you take those principles out, and then you say, okay, so the Crusades, I'm not saying that those weren't Christian people or people that claim to be from our camp, because they were. Right. But when you say, okay, what were they doing? And where can you find that principle in the Bible? It's not there. What they were doing was they went against those teachings to do that type of violence on those people. That's not at all how we were supposed to operate things. In fact, it's supposed to be the opposite way. The Christians, according to the Christian doctrine, that's how we end up overcoming the darkness in the world, is by caring more about getting the truth out there than we care about even our own lives. And there's been so many people in the past that have gone perpetual martyrs, that had gone and said, this truth is worth my life. I will stake my life on this because I know that my life is more than this one. There's something else beyond that. And I'm going to speak the truth here, now, and until you silence me. And I think that's like the tide changing sort of beliefs. But the teachings in the Bible, they're very, very practical. There's, like, like, don't talk to a fool. And there's multiple things. Like, when a fool is being foolish and somebody doesn't want to learn, and you just keep trying to teach them and they don't want any parts of it, leave it alone. Don't waste all your time there. There are actually people that want to learn. Those are the people that teach those people. Like, there's so many practical things about how to live your life. And when you follow these principles, it makes your life better. But like, you have other people that they're following that same idea, just like the Crusaders, where they're like, look, if you don't believe what we believe, we're gonna end your life. Like, there are other groups of people in this current time period that are saying, if you don't believe what I believe and you don't say what I say, then I'm gonna get a weapon and I'm gonna come after you. And that's what we should be doing. We should have violence against other people, is what these groups are saying. Like, all of these ideas, they get us farther away from the truth. If you have to force somebody and you have to go to violence to get somebody to go for your belief, then chill out. Like, the Christians should never have done that, just like the groups now shouldn't be doing that. Like,
but like the whole "don't close your eyes, something beautiful is still alive," like that's an important, because that's also true. That is also completely correspondent to reality, is that there is something beautiful still about America, about life, about your family, about, you know, even those people on the other side of the aisle you don't like, there's still something beautiful in those people. And there's still something beautiful about the country, and there's still something beautiful about humanity, in spite of the fact that it is true that you see terrible things like mass shootings and things like that. But it is also true that within the mass shooting, you will see a guy jumping on a woman, shielding her with his own body, and he doesn't even know her. Mm-hmm. So that's there too. Mm-hmm. And we have collectively ended the lives of 73 million babies in this country, but we also have the most adoptions as any other nation in the world, right? So it's like humanity, you're always going to be in this love-hate relationship, because we love the image of God in ourselves and our friends, and we hate the image of Adam in ourselves and our friends. And so, but the problem is we're both. We're God and we're Adam. And so because of that, we're in the image of God. That's interesting, because he's talked about, I think it was Enosh was exactly in the image of Adam or whatever. But yeah, here we go. This is my Nazi friend, by the way.
Oh,
the guy's like a legitimate.
Okay.
He's been banned, like other people banned him and stuff, but you know, he's still a faithful follower. Sorry, demonstrated the failure of American education. Doesn't even know what the Crusades are about. Shout out to Basilius.
What
As Slipknot
you can
says,
put in the comment section. What do you say the Crusades were about?
He's going to say that the Crusades were brought about by Islamic aggression, which is true. The problem is there's no New Testament way to justify even a response to that kind of aggression. The early church dealt with Roman aggression, and the way they dealt with Roman aggression was to be martyred in the thousands. So I don't care if they started it. Now, I'll tell you what I would have done if I was there. Hell yeah, I'd have been right in the front line with them Crusaders, bro. But I would be wrong. So even though the Muslims started it, we were still wrong, because I'm going to hold Crusaders to a Christian principle, because that's what they were claiming. The Muslims, they held themselves to an Islamic principle, and their prophet told them, go out and submit the people of the book or whatever. I think, though, you know,
the Crusaders did that under the flag of the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think, though, like, to sum it up, as Kev says, yeah, Slipknot says people equal shit, yet there are some good people out there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I just think that paradigm of saying everybody's in the image of God, that means you're valuable. But you're also in the image of Adam, and that means you should expect to see some fucked upness in the mirror, right? And so, like, we live in that reality.
I think that, like, even from my kids we have really young kids, you know, so we have older ones and younger ones. And the younger ones, when they're watching their different shows that, you know, just are, you know, what you would normally watch when you were 3 or 4 years old, they always have this, like, separation between there's a bad character. The bad character always looks like sinister and bad, and the good character always looks a certain way. And then there's one or the other. And one of the things that, like, so I'm like, okay, so from a very young age, all of us are being taught that there are some people that are bad and there are some people that are good. But in the Christian doctrine, it's no, every single person there is bad in all of us and there is good in all of us. And obviously, the more that you go toward the direction of the bad, you're going to bend yourself to being more of the majority percentage-wise bad. But all of us are made in the image and likeness of God. And I think that that's one of the reasons, like, right now, like, the big focus on my life is balance. Like, and I think that that's one of the things. We can't look at it and be like, there are some people that are bad and there are some people that are good. Like, all of us are those. And I think that we do ourselves a disservice when we look at, when we cut people that way, because it's just simply not true. One person is not going to be all good. So if you don't understand that those people are also connected, we are also bad, then you're going to take everything that person says and, well, they're good because, they're right because they're good. Or the bad people, no, they're wrong, and they're bad because they're wrong because they're bad. I mean, there's people that we listen to that we don't agree with the way that they are doing a lot of things. But it doesn't mean that as they're talking that everything that they say is wrong. There's still wise things that these people say that you can take from it. But if you're looking at them as being all bad, then we can't, that's how we take ground. That's how we move forward as a society, is when we get a balanced and truthful understanding of people in the world around us. And as Vinny said, truth is that which corresponds with reality. We have to be the closest to reality as we can possibly get.
And that's the reason why I will never ban somebody like Neelis, who is...
But our mods might.
I mean, yeah, our mods might. I mean, you got to be careful, bro. You got to watch out for what you're saying. But, like, I'm not going to ban him. Like, yeah, he's a white supremacist. You should have seen him up there. He's like, it's almost entirely white Christians doing the adopting. It's not like everybody's equally adopting. Like, he's got to find a way to attach race into it. Like, yeah. I don't think you're one of those white folks that is out adopting kids. You shouldn't. But I love him anyway. And the reason I love him is because, like, yeah, okay, like, that's his
Maybe things would be a little bit different if Black Wall Street hadn't gone the way that it did.
That's how his sinful nature is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, that's his problem. Okay, where is the image of God in him? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things that he says that I say, okay, there's the image of God. Even in the crazy racist shit he says, like, there's still, and like, if we could understand that, if we could just understand those principles, we're the image of God and the image of Adam. Yeah. And that would be the end of cancel culture. It would be the end of a lot. It would be the end of republicanism in a lot of ways. Yep. Like, we would just, it's not about can't we all just get along. It's like all of us, what we've experienced together in, let's say, the last 5 to 10 years in our culture, how fast things have changed and things like that. I think people are now looking for, okay, what can I plant my feet solidly in? And I think that's where we're at. And I think the overarching message of the song is like, we can't, the minute we agree with that shit, that's going to be our ultimate Achilles heel. Like our inability to make the world in the image of what we want it to be. And I'm saying all of us have a vision of what the world is. Like in Neelis's world, like me and you wouldn't be together. You see what I'm saying? So like whatever that is, right? Like all of us are like, the world should change this and that. It's like, yeah, maybe those things are still happening, but is there anything happening that you can directly affect? Yeah. And the answer to that is always going to be yes, because you can always work on yourself. DJ Wendell, you do not deserve to be banned. This is Fist to 5 in this bitch. That's right. If you haven't subscribed, they've got a pretty active TikTok channel. Like, I'm on the low. I'm an incognito in TikTok. Like, I'm like figuring out what I want to do, which is kind of like post-mature, because apparently TikTok's going away. Shout out to Joe Biden. What do you give the song?
I enjoyed this one. I'm gonna give this one a 9.7.
I'm gonna give this one a solid 9.1. One of the things I didn't talk about in this song, because the lyrics are so crazy, was that the guitar work in this song was ridiculous. There were a couple sections where I'm like, yo, I never heard that.
And the bass. The bass was like,
bass
I don't know if
angry.
you guys saw this. We saw this guitar.
I like
that
the
was
angry
like
bass.
The neck of the guitar was round. The entire thing was like a pole, almost like a rain pole.
Yeah, it's weird. It was weird.
Playing and it was pretty interesting. Take a look at it.
I'm mad I didn't record that.
I thought the same thing. I was like, what the fuck? I should have put that up on the channel. Yeah.
All right, guys, we got more songs coming. DJ Kevin in this bitch. He's got all these songs for you guys lined up. We're going to be at the commercial break. You see the little Legend of Zelda thing in the back. Boom, bap.
That's right. We'll be right back.
We will be right back. You winners. Shout out to Neelis, man. I love you, buddy. Keep it crack.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itstory@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSory. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sory and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed at Charlene.
So buy our merch.
Basilia says, respect Wakanda, for real, no cap, we straight bustin', fam. Hey, no cap is pretty recent, so that tells us Neelis is one of them like white racists, you know what I'm saying, that like is obsessed with black people and black culture. He can't quit us. He can't quit us. Me and Soraya are supposed to be like the epitome in our miscegenated children. We're supposed to be the epitome of everything he hates, but he can't quit us.
And yet here you are. Welcome.
Shout out to Neelis.
Welcome.
Shout out to Neelis. But today is not about my brother. Today is about, and
Kevin.
you notice how I don't use your first name, bruh? I love you. Brought to you by DJ Kevin.
DJ Kevin, it is his birthday.
It is his birthday.
Happy birthday, DJ Kevin.
Happy freaking birthday.
If you are watching this on YouTube, head over to our Rumble channel in case this one gets blocked and you want to see it without hearing the sound silenced.
Get those likes up, people. All right, go ahead.
Follow us on Rumble. Give us thumbs up, all the 9. You guys know how this goes.
Hey, my man,
you guys have heard it on every YouTube video.
JLB in this bitch. Shout out to JLB.
All right. Simple Plan is up next. The name of the song is Me Against the World.
Some of my favorites in the comment section. All right, Me Against the World.
Yep.
Tupac had a song called Me Against the World. Let's see which one is better. You know, we should do that. We should take like a rap song and a metal song that has the same title or a similar title, and then do a battle. That might be interesting. All right, guys, here we go. Song numero dos. Happy birthday, Kevin. Simple Plan. Me against the world. Let's do this shit.
Let's check it out.
Just me against the world.
We're not gonna be just a part of the game. We're not gonna be just the victims. They're taking our dreams and they tear them apart till everyone's the same. I've got no place to go. I've got nowhere to run. They love to watch me fall.
remind you at all about Nirvana, Teen Spirit? Smells like Teen Spirit?
Not even a little bit.
But you know
How
when he
dare
says,
you?
listen, stop. When he does
How
the part,
dare you?
da-da-da-da, my libido, na-na-na-na, that part. No? How can you say that? Anybody else? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You could just switched out the lyrics there. Just that little.
Ah, okay. I mean, I'm not supposed to like emo because I'm supposed to be cool and shit. It's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't really be a gangster. You can't really be a gangster listening to emo shit.
Listen,
so
anybody
it's
else
hard.
feeling this? Like, look at this.
Well, Ian said, he said you're right.
Thank you, Ian.
He said you're right. So, I mean, hey. Sori been studying vocalists.
No, man.
She needs to.
Wait.
She needs to see. So when you hear the copy of her stuff, you gonna know. I'm gonna send you some stuff tonight, bro. I'm gonna send you some stuff tonight. And I'm saving it. And you're gonna see, like, there's a reason. I've been sitting on that song for like 2 years.
Yeah, it's good.
I've been sitting on that song for 2 years,
Yep,
bro.
it's good.
But when
Now
you
is
hear
the
it,
time.
you're like, oh, that's why you did that shit.
Now is the time. Now's the time. Look.
What?
Everybody's agreeing! You guys, this is like, I'm very excited because this never friggin' happens to me where I can figure out, I'll be like, that sounds familiar. I can't place it. I can't whatever. I had to like keep playing it in my head. And
Yeah,
then I was
even
like,
D-Throne
the
is up
only
there
part
saying
that
that.
I can remember is my libido. So I'm like, I typed that in and then I was like, it's Nirvana, smells like Teen Spirit, right. So, yeah, I know you disagree. It sounds nothing like it, but,
Yeah, well, the people
people are
have spoken.
coming through.
Yeah, because people never just like agree with you to agree.
Stop it! Anybody can hear
People
that.
never agree with you to agree
See,
with
I'm
you.
never gonna. I don't need this. There's no winning.
Jet!
There's no winning. Yeah,
Jet in this bitch,
Jet
legendary.
Jet pulled up, and so did
She said, "I got home. You guys are already live. You know what it is, Jet."
I'm pretty sure Delaney came in here too and spoke to you specifically.
Yeah, Delaney's my homie, bro.
She came in. She's like, "What's up, nerds?"
All right, so what are we looking at lyrically?
All
here?
right, lyrically.
This is a young kid. His parents say, "Hey, you know, you're a loser," blah blah blah, and then the kid's got to strike it out on his own and make it. Sink or swim, right? It's the ancient message. Go ahead. What you on?
Well, we're not just going to be part of their game. We're not going to be just the victims. They're taking our dreams and they tear them apart till everyone's the same. I think they're talking about public school. I'm not sure.
Public school?
Just kidding.
He says, "I've got no place to go, nowhere to run." I mean, I'm just thinking that. Shout out to Delaney. I'm thinking it just sounds like, and a lot of it is because this is an emo band, and this was around 2004, so we're all in high school at this point, and so like it makes sense to me, like, hey, like, you don't think I'm gonna make it? This sounds like a kid saying, and your parents being like, parents. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go make it on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
And it's like, obviously, if your kid says he or she wants to be an artist, the chances of you being a successful artist is very, very slim. And it's just like now, unfortunately, like you hear people saying, and people do YouTube as a career, and you know there are people that make their living off of YouTube, and now people are like, oh, I want to. So now if a kid says I want to be a YouTuber, their parents aren't necessarily taking them seriously. Like, oh my god, you know. But of course, this generation of kids knows, like, no, I could literally like make a living this way and not have to, you know, be part of your rat race or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's true, but it's a lot of hard work. It's very difficult. You got to be mentally strong to get there. And it's the same, obviously more difficult with the music industry, I would presume. Yeah. So like they're not emo, they're pop punk. Okay, so they're pop punk.
You know, as a parent, what I would say, because I definitely think this is like from a teen perspective or like a young adult perspective, he says, I've got no place to go. I've got nowhere to run. They'd love to watch me fall. They think they know it all. I think that from the perspective, from the perspective of a teenager, I think that you can look at your parents like, that's not going to work, blah, 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 as them like telling you you're a complete failure. And I do think that there are some trashy parents out there that are just like out there to just watch their kids' lives get ruined. I mean, I've known, you know, some parents.
Where?
Huh?
You've met these parents that want their kids to get ruined? Want? Like that's their intention?
looked this up, and I talked to her mother directly. Like, I think that the mother is jealous of the daughter, and she doesn't want to see her. It's terrible.
I agree.
It's terrible. There are parents like that out there.
I agree.
I'm not saying all parents are good, but I do think that there are a lot of times that a child is going to misunderstand, or a teenager is going to misunderstand, like, the difficult way that their parent is with them, and misunderstand that until they're older, and then they realize, oh, wait a minute, because this one says, they love to watch me fall. They think they know it all. Well, we do know more than you do. You know, I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, well, hold on. I was like, I've been you, you've never been me. I've been a teenager, you've never been, I'm an almost 40-year-old woman. So there's a bit of wisdom that you learn as the years progress, that you're like, well, and you see things differently. So it's like, if the teenager is at the point where they're going to hear that wisdom and you're able to give it to them, like, you can really go far with stuff. But I do think that there are, I think that there's a space for that sort of like teenage angst or young adult angst that gets you motivated, where they're like, you know what, you think I'm going to fail? Like, I know a lot of people that became successful based off of something somebody said or a letter somebody wrote or whatever, and they used that as their motivation to like catapult forward.
I did. I overheard a parent saying, your brother's going to work at 7-Eleven all his life. And I wasn't in the room when she said it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's what she really thinks that about us. Cool. And, like, you can take that however you want to take that. I just took it as motivation. I was like, all right, cool. All right, we'll see. And, that's why when I started working, like, I worked like crazy. And I had a crazy work ethic, and, all that shit a lot of that came down to that one conversation. Mm-hmm. And, it motivated me to do, real crazy shit that, so. Yep. Like, you can take it however you want to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if, your parents, you should be getting a lot of validation from them. But at the same time, like, I was listening to this old school preacher. He was talking about, and he was like an old school preacher, like spank your kids in public type guy. And he was talking about how this woman came to him and they were having a real problem with their son. And the son was disrespectful and getting into it with the dad or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, how old is he? And he's like, well, I don't know, 16, 17. And he's like, just tell him to leave. He's like, he is too big. He's not. I was surprised because he's like a very big, hey, you're the parent, control. And he was kind of like, I mean, the kid's 16, 17 years old, man. Like, he's probably outgrown you guys and he just needs to go. And I was very, very surprised. But I never forgot that. I was like, okay. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, so.
Well, I've seen, it's crazy because it's really how you look at things. So you could have taken that information that you heard your mother say, and you could have been like, that's true. And like, what do you say? Imbibed? What's that word? Taking that information. What's that word?
Imbibed.
Imbibed that information and just like, let it become you. You could have said, I'm never going to be anything better than this. Like, this is all I'll ever do. My mother always said this. She was right, blah, blah, blah. But you took that negative information or perceived negative information because I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that the kids will probably come and say something and, years from now, and I'll be like, actually, yeah, I said that because I was trying to motivate you. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe she knew that you could hear. I don't know. No? Okay.
No.
I'm just a shot in the dark here. I don't know. No. But you took that information and
she was trying to save my brother from being like me. So
yeah.
I wasn't really the concern. She was the concern.
But
she
you
had
took
no
that
idea
information and you used that as a stepping stone to get somewhere. You use that to motivate you to beyond that. I think that when you hear something, and I think that we probably all have something in our heads, stuck in our heads, something from the past, something from the present, that it's like you decide how you're going to make that affect you. You can either take that in and say, that's me and that's all I'll ever be, or you can say, you know what, that's not me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do everything that I can to do something beyond that. And that's what you did. And you accomplished something off of it. And it's, obviously horrible that she said something like that and obviously hurtful. But again, you can't control the speech of other people. If somebody else says something and you let it, but you have a choice. That's the thing. Life is filled with hundreds, thousands, millions of choices. And all those choices lead you someplace. Mm-hmm. And so you have to decide where you want that to be led. Did you want that to lead you to a job where you did that? You worked the 7-Eleven for the rest of your life or no? And you were like, no, I don't want that for my life. And so then you worked and let that, fuel you forward. But if you would have let yourself just fall underneath it and been like, yeah, that's who I am, that's all who I'll ever be, then you made the choice to become that. She can't speak that over you and make you become that. You choose.
Yeah, and Jesus, Delaney, that's terrible. And you know that that's not the truth about your life and what you're going to be. And you know what, Delaney? Here's the thing. I don't think you're going to end up doing any of that shit, but you're going to do things that you're not proud of. And that doesn't make you less of a person.
Right.
So,
right.
You having fuck-ups in other areas does not prove that thesis. Because this is what happens. Like, somebody says something really evil over your life, and then that narrative follows you around, and then, like, you do things, and then that's when that voice of accusation comes in. Look, you did that. That's going to prove that you're going to do X, Y, and Z. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to, as a parent, you teach your kids, you train your kids and all the rest of it, but their lives are their lives, man. And there's a lot of people, that's why I say, like, because a lot of us are extremely young in this community and not many of us have children, and you're about to enter into the time when you can have children. Parenting is probably the most difficult job in the world. But one of the things that you have to understand is that you do not own your children, in the sense that your job is to work yourself out of a job as a parent and to set them up. But there are parents who, for whatever reason, mental maladies, whatever, who don't know how to properly express to their children what's actually going on, because they only know one way. The world is completely new, and just think about, like, 5 years ago, like, how different everything was. Like, 5 years ago, things were so different. And so it's like everything is progressing at, like, these warp speeds because of the internet and social media. So culture, like, for example, capping, like all this guys, is played out now. That word is, like, old now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And most people, just now are using that terminology. You see what I'm saying? So, like, everything changes so quickly. So, like, that's one of the things that happens is a young person is saying, look, you know all this other shit, but that shit was, like, 10, 15 years ago. Like, when I hear our kids talk about the 90s, I'm like, yo, listen to this shit. Like, this is how we used to talk about the 60s. Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
So it's like, so they're looking at it like, you guys don't understand all this new shit, and they don't. What they don't get is, like, but we have principles. There are principles that are timeless, and you've got this new cultural fad and this cultural moment, and it is absolutely important, and you know more about it than your parents, but you don't understand how to interpret that at the meta level, right? Without the experience and all and things of that nature. So there's always, like, a back and forth. We got Ben Webb in here.
What's up, Ben?
Parenting isn't difficult. It would be easier than most manual labor jobs. The hard part is our society doesn't consider a job, so it doesn't pay when it should. Ben Webb in this bitch. I actually agree with him. I think if you go from the perspective that good, healthy parenting, that society as a whole has a prevailing interest in good parenting, I think if we monetized parenting, particularly for women, that would change so many things.
100%.
Pro-lifers, but then we'd have to spend some money.
Look at that.
Pro-lifers.
I would also, just to kind of jump onto what Vinny said here, Delaney, maybe come across a little preachy, but this is how I talk to my kids, so this is what I do. The spiritual realm is real, and you have God's realm and what he's doing, and you also have the dark forces that are also at work. And unfortunately, because as parents, we are both good and bad, right? We talked about that before. We're not completely good parents. So there are times where, thoughts come into your head and you're like, well, where did that come from? I don't know really where that came from. And so, depending on where you are in life, depending on your stress levels, depending on different things, people can say things that came to their head and that they may or may not believe in the moment, but that doesn't mean that that came from God. And so God is speaking over your life, and that's why it's so important to know what is in the Bible, because that influences. I use the Bible now as like a grid, almost like a screen. So when people say something to me, because I've had some really hurtful things said to me also, when those things come through, I used to just be completely open to it. Everything that was said to me, I was like, okay. But it was like, it felt like it was like assaults, you know? Now I hold this like this, and this right here is what the Bible has to say. So first of all, the very first grid that goes through is you're made in the image and likeness of God. So that's who you are. Like, that means you're like God-like status. So it comes first to that. So that means what your mom is speaking over you in that regard, that doesn't have to be you. That is not what God has for you. Like, jobs might be difficult. You might have to work, harder. And I don't know like enough about how difficult or whatever, or how educated you are, anything
You talking
like that.
to D?
Yeah.
Man, that's for life. You could be 25 years old. If you reached out to us, we would take care of you, for sure. That's not even a question. But you don't even need that from us, because I know your dad is on point. But Delaney's set for life,
But
forever. I'm telling. She's set for life. It's over.
But whatever those words that come to you, put that grid out there. Like, you don't have to take everything that's said to you as the truth. Because at first, what God says is the truth. When we talk about ultimate reality and truth that corresponds with reality, like, I don't know why she said that, and I'm sorry that was said to you. But even if you found yourself in some crazy ass situation and you didn't reach out to Vinny and I, and you ended up doing some work in that vicinity or that area, you know what? There's it's not the end of you. Like, there's still so much for you. There's forgiveness for that stuff, and there's healing from that stuff, and there's places for you. Now, I'm not saying that everything would be easy. I mean, we're seeing what poor Nala is going through as a result of all of that. But yeah, we got your back. We got your back for sure.
For your life. Dead ass.
But obviously, I mean, we can't do that. We can't do that for everybody. There's gonna be other people that are gonna see this channel and be like, this video, and be like, wait, what? But like, do that. Like, set that grid for yourself. If somebody's saying something new that doesn't match up to that, well, there are things that we have to change about ourselves. Like, there are things that, like, if somebody says, like, you're a completely shitty person, like, you're just, you're a ruthless person. Well, maybe there are aspects of you that are really shitty and that are ruthless. And so then you face those areas and you start working on those areas. Like, growth is part of what we do. We move out of where we are, but no, like, you don't have to take in everything that's said to you. But I know it's hard, especially when it comes from a parent. But as Vinny said, like, I think we've all had, because again, nobody's all good. Like, your parents are going to have bad days. They're going to say things that they regret. I look at some of the stuff I said, I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. But that's why we have forgiveness in Jesus. So, yeah.
Yeah, so the song really captured kind of the angst that I had, that a lot of young people have, like the shit that.
But like I said, it can motivate you. It can be good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, he says this in the song, like, they want to watch me fail. They think they don't know it all. And then he's saying, like, all the things. I'm a disaster. But at the beginning, he says, we're not going to be just part of the game. We're not going to be just the victims. They're taking our dreams and they tear us apart till everyone's the same. But, like, I don't know. He does say, I've got no place to go. I've got nowhere to run. Well. Yeah,
I just think it's about that age,
That time period. Yeah, because you don't have anything solid that you're like, oh, this is what I'm doing, when nothing's really established. But there's a lot of possibilities when life is like that.
9.3 for me.
I'm gonna give this one a 9.1.
Shout out to the big homie Brandon Brindle, and shout out to all the beautiful people over there in
Rumble.
What do you call it? Rumble. I heard somebody might win a 50% off ticket in Rumble for a song. I don't know. I heard rumors about that. But I also heard that we have more songs coming up because it is DJ Kev's birthday. So we are going to see you guys on the other side of the break. Shout out to the big homie Ben Webb. We will see you after the commercial, bitches. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed at Charles Elita.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
All right,
As
you
you
guys.
can see, it is DJ Kevin's day of birth.
Birthday.
Shout out
Glad
to the big
you're
homie
alive.
DJ Kevin in this bitch.
Glad you are alive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, you guys. We are on Facebook. We are on Rumble. We are on Twitter. And we are on YouTube.
Yes. Don't listen to the lies of Benjamin Webb. Most of the channel's videos are like 30 minutes long, but 10 minutes of it is a commercial. You're a liar. That commercial is 2 minutes and 32 seconds. All right, here we go,
Poor
guys.
Ben. Poor Ben. All he knows how to do is lie. You know that... The truth corresponds with reality, Ben. Learn it.
Learn it.
All right, you guys. Poison, Nothing But a Good Time. Sounds like a good birthday song. Let's check it out.
Poison-Nothin, but
Nothing.
it's not
but a
nothing.
good-
It's nothing.
Nothing but a good time.
We'll be the judges of that. Oh,
Let's go.
But
one.
That was a fun one. KJ, check the link that I just posted in the description, my boy. We covered that song about 4 years ago. It is on our channel, Satyricon Mother North, the live opera version. We did that song.
Wow, your memory is amazing.
And I put the link in the description for you.
Okay.
Well, not in the
Vinny's
description.
on fire.
It's right there. Boom, back.
Vinny is on fire.
There you
All
go.
right.
There you go, losers. There you go, losers. Okay,
All
so
right, nothing but a good time.
I have heard this song before. I don't know where, but I don't know if it was at a game where the song got played. But I'm putting my flag down. I have heard this song before. What was the band again?
Poison, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
Poison. All right, nothing but a good time. I've heard this song before, but I never, obviously my perception of songs like this is it's all about the chorus. But because we're a lyric channel, I was able to actually hear some of the lyrics, and some of the lyrics are actually, I wouldn't say deeper, but they're a lot more significant than maybe I had in the first glance. Let me say it that way.
Okay.
Because it sounds like just a regular party song, right? Like we just here to party, blah, blah, blah.
Right, yeah.
But if you look at the lyrics of what he's saying in the verses, there is something a little bit more significant than just regular partying going on. But what's your perception of the song?
The song it was a little bit funny to me because my father used to always like finances and like keeping track of your money and not spending more than you make. Like that was like a big thing, like when we were being raised.
Sure, yeah.
So my dad would always say like, there's a lot of times people complain about their money situations, but at the same time he would always say that they're spending all their money on smoking and drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so this song, he's like, not a dime, I can't pay rent. So obviously I'm feeling bad for him. I'm thinking about people, when they're sitting at the table with the bills, looking at it and like this overwhelming feeling that, oh my gosh, there's not enough money to pay all of this, collections, all these different things are happening. He says, Saturday night, I'd like to make my girl. In other words, he wants to take out his girl, but he can't even make ends meet. And we talk about this. We talk about how people don't, businesses are paying people as little as they possibly can, so that way they can make as much as they possibly can at the top. And, obviously future dreams of me and I is that we own a business that is able to give people not just a fair wage, but something that's like, this is so livable. Like this is for you. And, we've got some great ideas, big plans. So he's talking about how difficult it is, but then, so he's talking about, on the one hand, he wants to take his girl out, but there's not enough money. But then later on, we find out where the money went. He spent it on wine and women. So it's like, well, I did feel bad for you in the beginning, but then I realized it was a little bit different than that.
No.
Right here. So I spend my money on women and wine.
Wait, no.
Wait.
He said, say
I spend my money on... Oh, he's saying if I say?
People are saying that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Okay. All right. So I read that wrong, but I thought that's what was going on. I was like, oh no. That's
I don't think you're reading it wrong because I'm just being a stickler. But if you look at the next stanza, it says, I'm always working, slaving every day.
But he says, I couldn't tell you where I spent last night.
Yeah. What about that?
I mean, how could you not remember where you spent last night? I mean, that means you had a lot to something and you don't know where you were. Maybe it was with those women.
Fair point.
But I'm
always working, slaving every day. So
I will say I changed my stance on, because I used to agree completely with, what my father had said about that, being that you shouldn't overspend and stuff like that, which I agree with. But I do also think like for instance, if there was somebody on the side of the road and they were holding up a sign because they were homeless and they were asking for money, but they were smoking, we'd be like, well, I mean, they shouldn't have bought those cigarettes. But now, from being around you, like I got a different view of it, and I realized that everybody has coping mechanisms and ways that they deal with stuff. So if somebody's been a smoker all their life, then they come into this spot where the finances are so bad that now they're standing on the side of the road. Like, it's unlikely that you should expect that person to make a life-altering decision like quitting smoking in the middle of that event. Like that'd be a pretty, ridiculously strong person probably that could even accomplish something like that.
In what sense?
Well, it's hard enough to quit smoking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to also have lost your home and be standing on the side of the road with a sign made out of a box. and expect that person to quit smoking in that situation.
Right.
It was just, it's not looking at people as being like actual human beings. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the person is smoking, right? Okay, so sure, they can't eat their cigarettes. I get that. But they're also addicted to that nicotine at this point. And under this stress, given the situation, it's unlikely you're asking way too much of this person over a cigarette. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, you know, you get the whole left brain, right brain thing, right? So the left side of your brain is about logic and consistency and things like that. And then the right side of your brain, this is all theory. I have a different idea about it, but let's just go with conventional science. The right side of your brain is thought to be the creative side, the side of you that needs to have variegation in life. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of life is about balancing left brain versus right brain people. So like people in the metal community a lot of times are more right brained because you're creative. That's where the creation comes from. And so if you think about it that way, it's like, okay, that means that human beings will not thrive in a completely unstable situation because the left side of your brain is going to be like firing off and going crazy because the left side of your brain wants consistency. But if you have too much consistency, or boredom is what we call it, then the left side of your brain gets triggered with anxiety because it wants variation and there's just too much repetition. And so
balance.
So for me, when I see the person, they're drinking, they're smoking, that doesn't DQ them from needing help, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because who am I to say? Because think about it, there are people that comfort eat, mm-hmm. right? And so it's kind of this weird thing where it's like, you wouldn't have a problem giving the guy a sandwich, but at the same time, like they're using that sandwich in an unhealthy way. I understand they're homeless, so it's, you know, but like my point is,
yeah, we get the point.
For me, the right brain needs to be dealt with just as much as, not maybe just as much, but maybe right under taking care of their bellies and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Because we have like this sort of minimalist idea, especially when it comes to poor people, because poor people make us feel uneasy, maybe not guilty, but uneasy. Somebody's asking you for something and you don't want to give it to them. It's a social interaction that people don't like. And so because of that, instead of looking at ourselves and saying, well, why does that interaction make me uncomfortable or whatever, we just go, oh, those people are bums. They're this or that. And we have all these judgments about them because they need this other thing to make themselves like get through the day. And so like, I understand like obviously there's personal responsibility and all the rest of it. But if you just look at like lyrically what he's saying, not a dime, I can't pay my rent. I can barely make it through the week. Saturday night, I'd like to make my girl, but right now I can't make ends meet. And so I think somebody else was saying that this was actually a critique on Reaganomics at the time, like Ronald Reagan, the Republicans, all that jazz. Obviously a little bit before our time, so I really don't know, like economically speaking, what was going on. But I'm always working, slaving every day. Yeah. There it is, right? Yeah. So it's like a person who's left brain dominant is going to be like, that's great. You're working every day and you have steady work, because that's how left brain people are. Mm-hmm. Like, great. Right brain people are like, ugh. Yeah. Like, you're doing it every day. Like, what do we do to break up the monotony? Yeah. And so we're going to have this party because we got to find some way to break up this monotony, man. Right. Yeah. Like, that's valid. It sounds like, oh, we're just having a good time and we're hairspray and guitar and sex, drugs, and rock and roll and blah, 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 blah. But, like, remember the 80s. What took off in the 80s? Weed, coke, and crack. Skyrocketed in the 80s. And I think...
When was the industrial age?
I mean, that was... The revolution was like way 20s. Roaring 20s, all that 20s. Jazz. But on the illicit side, you know, in the 60s and 70s, it was just basically weed. You know, and hey, you know, let's have a good time and pass it around. But then when you get to the 80s, hard shit started hitting the mainstream. You had these, cocaine got introduced into the consciousness. It was originally like a rich man's drug, secret type thing, and then the Wall Street cats had it and blah, blah, blah. And then we figured out, okay, you take the cocaine and you mix it with certain things, and that turns into crack, and you can, you know, and so like the correlation between drug use and monotony, it doesn't get explored a lot, but I think it's a form of torture. It's one of the reasons that solitary confinement is so horrible. The first thing people say, the first thing people say is they're cut off from other humans, and the very next thing they say is that there was nothing to do. Like, as one guy said, like, all the little popcorn things on the ceiling, he knew how many there were. He knew which one was which. Mm-hmm. He said they all look the same, but they're really not. Yeah. And so, like, that's what he had to do.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Right. And so that's an extreme example of, like, left brain, like, you're basically telling him to cut off half of his humanity and stay with one part of his consciousness. Yeah. And so the right side of his brain was like, we got to do something. They starts panicking. So a lot of times, like, people don't realize, like, the weird shit that people do, and you go, why did you do this random weird shit? It's because the right side of their brain is having an anxiety response to not being able to get the stimuli that it wants. Yeah. And so, like, you look at this song, it's like, oh, it's nothing but a good time. It's like, oh, we're being dumb. And why are you spending your money on drugs and women when you're saying you're slaving away every day? These are kind of criticisms that, like, people who have means, have money, it's so simple to them. Because it's like, yeah, when you want to break up the monotony, you have the whole world. You say, all right, babe, what are we doing tonight? Where are we going? Blah, blah, blah. Well, this guy's not in that situation. So the nothing but a good time, like I said, like, I was really surprised. Thank you, honestly, Kev. Like, because this song is actually one of the more, this is one of the more, it's kind of like subterfuge. It's like, oh, look, this is just 80s. Like, hey, we're just having fun. But he's saying some real human shit here. And I do agree. I forgot who said it, but I do agree. I do think it's probably a critique of Reaganomics, and maybe not as explicit as maybe these guys didn't know that it was Reagan and his whole thing that was the problem. Maybe they're just reacting. Mm-hmm. And then looking back, we can say, obviously, this is a ramification of Reaganomics. Yeah. But I just thought that it was a very interesting, like, our stereotypes of 80s hair metal. I think maybe now this song is going to make me like, let me look at those songs again lyrically and say, well, what's really going on here? Yeah. Shout out to Alfonso. Viva Mexico! What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, also, kind of back to what I had said at the beginning, people, when they're in particular situations, you definitely broke it down better, and I agree with that. I do think that it's interesting because you can have anxiety on both sides. Like, if you're too far right, too far left in your brain, like, it just creates a toxic environment for you mentally.
Yo, look at Alfonso. This dude is the real deal. Look, Alfonso drummer. Look, he's got this drum thing in the...
Oh, nice.
He's got that. He's going crazy. All right, Alfonso. I see you, boy. I see you, boy. All right, go ahead.
I'd also say, like, like, for instance, like, I don't believe that every Jet said, not all people that are homeless and holding a sign don't have a place to live, which I agree with completely.
That's true.
Mean, we've been on the other side of it. We've seen that. There was a time I stopped to talk to this girl, and she was talking about how bad her situation was, no food, no whatever. She was actually smoking on the sidewalk with the sign, and I felt that initial judgment where I was like, well, she should, and then I was like, nah, let me stop and talk with her, and I did. And at that time, I would go to the food pantry regularly. I volunteered over there, but it was also a way that, this is in my past relationship. It was a way that, we made ends meet. I would go to the food pantry, I would volunteer over there, and then they would give us the food. And so I was telling her about this situation. She's like, yeah, I don't have a car though. Because she said, I need money for food, is what she told me. And so I said, well, and I told her about that. I didn't have any money to give her, but I could bring her to the food pantry with me, which was going to be the next day. First, I said, are you going to be out here tomorrow? She said, yeah, I'm going to be out here tomorrow. I said, oh, okay. I said, great. I come through here, literally going to pass by. I'll pick you up. Because she said her next thing was she didn't have a car. I said, I'll pick you up and I'll bring you. It's right down the road. We'll go to the food pantry. We'll be there for a little bit. They're going to give you food. And you're going to get to meet people and stuff like that. And then there was one excuse after another excuse after another excuse. And then it turned out that somebody I knew was their cousin. But I didn't know that at the time. So then then obviously I got the full story that it wasn't really like that. Like, it was, she didn't want to work. And that to her was, being on the side of the road holding a sign and having to go through those hoops is still work. But that was the type of work that she would rather do than work a job. And so, but by having the conversation with her, I was able to see that the situation was not like she was presenting it to be with the sign. But yeah, you know, like every situation's different, and you know, everybody, we can just do what we can to help other people, because you know, sometimes people are just in a bad spot. But I do like the song.
When you look at like quote poor people, it's like there's this assumption that they should just be happy with the minimal. It's like, I mean, you're not, you know, hey, you just be. And it's like, I get it, man. Because I've been a homeless person that people, you know, had to rely on the kindness of others. The problem is I had two brothers with me, and we had a whole bunch of things in there for novelty and things that we could do. You know what I'm saying? So, but like just whittling it down to, like, I remember when we were doing the stimulus checks and stuff, and people were making fun of people for buying TVs and shit. They're like, why are you doing that when, you know, you're claiming you're poor? It's like, it's because they're poor.
Right.
And they get a little something, and they're like, man, we could do something to add some novelty here, and maybe the right side of my brain can actually get some massages.
It's actually pretty smart.
Instead of just, I'm gonna work, minimum wage job, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna keep doing that for the next. They're looking at their lives. I got 40 years of this.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, getting something like a TV and things like that are ways of defending yourself against that monotony and against saying to yourself, man, I can't do this for another 40 years.
Yeah. And it's also like, you know, you could have taken that money and gone to the movies, but then you can't keep using that ticket. That's over once you use it. But a TV is going to have new shows. It's going to have new programs. There's stuff on YouTube. There's educational stuff that you can get out of it. There's spiritual stuff that you can get. It's kind of, it's a holistic device if you use it that way. So yeah, I mean, I that's one of the things that, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why I'm glad that I landed with you, but that side of things, like, I really appreciate like the way that you've changed my view on those things, to see people differently and actually see them into their situations. And now when it's tax season and I see people leaving, you know, Walmart with big giant TVs with their kids, I don't think, which I used to, here they go, these people spending their tax return on something they brought, you know, because a lot of times the people are, you know, it looks like their clothes are older, you know what I mean? You can tell that life is not, you know, completely okay for them. And so I'd always have my, you know, Vinny used to call me Judge-O. I used to have my judgments. Now I see it, I'm like, y'all are going to have some fun tonight. You know, it's just, I see it completely different now. So I'm so glad, because it does change, you know, it's nice to have a heart that is like more open and accurate to people's situations and caring. So, and
I spent we did multiple stints in homeless shelters as a kid, so it's those experiences that gave me that perspective. You know, I just don't want people getting the wrong image here. Your boy, not a very good person. Okay, this is a 9.6. I'm gonna give this one a 9.6. Hold on. Go ahead. Score the
See,
thing.
this one's a tricky one, because I feel like this one lyrically kind of bumps it up in the score. I do like the sort of happy 9.8. 9.8. It's a classic. I almost want to give it a 10.
I'm actually going to give it a 10 because I was prejudiced against this song. Because like I said, I was like, I pretty much know this song. It's a hair metal song. It's a hair band. I'm going to turn my mind off. Then I was looking at the lyrics, and then I was like, wait a second, this might be. And then when Neil said that about like Reaganomics and things like that, I'm like, no, they're saying some real shit here. You know, I'm sure, you know, a lot of people probably were not thinking about the lyrics to the depth that we did and just used it to party.
Yeah,
but,
I look at nothing but a good
but
time.
what that means is the song accomplished what it needed to for those people, and the people that can sit back and analyze it are not in that situation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so there's a sense in which we're like, we're outside of that, because we're not in that situation.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm gonna give it a 10, because it's saying some real shit, but it's saying it's one of those things where you get the medicine with the, you know, the sugar. You put the medicine in the cereal.
And the other thing too was, he talked about the finances, he talked about the work, he talked about how all that stuff was negative, and obviously that song did not change when the song was being sung, but he says, ain't looking for nothing but a good time, and it don't get better than this. So that means what he was searching for, he was able to find it. Even though his situation didn't change, he was still able to find some happiness.
Yeah. You guys always have interesting other perspectives I didn't consider, but I'm probably still going to say save my money on stuff that isn't a TV. Agree, because you have us. Your right brain is already sufficiently stimulated and you have your guitar. So I agree. Like if you're not in that situation, then yeah, don't get the TV. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so shout out to Ian for that balance. For the balance.
100%. All right, you guys. Have no fear. There's another birthday song on the way.
There's another birthday song.
Shout out
DJ
to Kevin.
freaking Kevin. See the little thingy there. Like we're a next level.
Yeah.
We're a next level operation.
He's the brains behind this whole operation.
You say Diddy?
Vinny.
Oh, I thought you said
You've
Diddy.
been listening to Wade.
I was like, whoa, wait a second here. Now I'm really gonna have to go back to old. All right. Commercial break. We right back. Nobody's gonna die. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of the birthday of the big Hobie, Kevin. In this bitch.
One last song on the list tonight. If you're like, hey, what does that mean by list? We live stream our reactions.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you check up on Rumble, we have the reactions up. The live streams are coming up. Nothing's going to be blocked if you go over to Rumble. Then we split up the songs later and put them out as individual reviews. But we do those live streams live. So if you come in the comments section, we're going to respond to you. Most likely.
Yes.
So come through. Anyway, up next, as we have it, the last song on our list is Memphis Mayfire. The song is called Carry On. This is interesting because Vinny and I have never heard of this band before. If you're in the comment section, let us know if you've heard of this band before and what you give the band themselves as your overall score. We're going to see what we think about this band. I have the official lyric video over here on the side, which was the video that Kevin chose. But as you know, YouTube will block us if we put that up there. So we're going to be putting up an unofficial lyric video over here for you guys, but we're going to be seeing the one that you sent over here, Kev. So have no fear.
Have no fear. All right, here we go. Memphis Mayfire, Carry On.
Happy birthday.
Oh, we got subtitles. Give me a second here, guys.
Yep. In the meantime,
you guys ready?
Let's go.
Is it a Kansas cover? I don't know. We will see. Is it a Kansas cover, Kev?
Set your sights on goals and words. something, God forbid. I'll stand alone, God forbid. I'll tell my story, God forbid. It offers hope. Sell your soul for platinum, deny the truth for gold. You can be the next big thing if you turn your back on what you know. I'll stand and fight for what I love and know is right. I'll carry on. I'll carry on. You can try to turn me into something I am not, but I'll stay strong. I'll carry on until my days are gone. I will never be like you. I'm not a puppet on a string. I'm not one of your machines. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this for me. It's bigger than what you choose to see. I'll stand and fight for what I love and know is right. I will carry on until my days are gone. They try to turn me into something I am not, but I will carry on. I will carry on until my days are gone.
Woo!
like
That was a
that.
good song. That was a good song.
The clean vocals. You know, I'm always a fan of clean vocals.
So this is a Christian band, right? I mean, it's got to be, right? I mean,
You know what? I mean, obviously, I made the whole thing Christian, but yeah,
there's no way that this guy is. This is the Christian experience when you get into entertainment, dear listener.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You don't see the things they were saying to the homie? All the things they were saying to him? Stop being preachy, all that shit? You didn't hear?
I did hear that, but
What did you think that was about?
yeah, I mean, I just assumed that anytime somebody starts speaking too much positivity, people are like, I'm being too preachy. But yeah, no, you're probably
I
right.
mean, he kept saying, God forbid.
Well, he said it's bigger than, you know.
He said it's bigger than, and he kept saying, God forbid.
Yeah, I know, but people say that. They don't have to be Christians to say that. God forbid you know, hell in a handbasket. Like, they're phrases that people use just because they're you know, came up in.
There it is. The band itself isn't Christian. Matty Mullins, the lead vocalist, is the Christian. He could be talking about his own band saying that shit to him.
He's like, now y'all are gonna play this song.
So
That's funny.
You didn't see this as a Christian band type situation.
Be this as it may, but I am not like you. I very rarely listen to a song and say, what is the band trying to say from their own perspective? I make everything about me. So when the song's playing, I think about, yeah, okay, me or us or people that I know. So I'm like, you know, the whole preachy thing. Obviously, when that part came up, don't be too preachy if you want to be loved. I just
all
thought
right,
that part
let's
was
look
kind
at
of
the
funny.
lyrics. Tug of war back and forth. All regard goes out the door. Set your sights on goals and awards. Become obsessed and watch success unfold. Decrease the morals.
Increase the funds.
Don't be too preachy if you want to be loved. Forget conviction. Just have some fun. Mindless words can take you to number one.
Yep.
That's evangelical. That's Christianese.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
forget conviction. Say I'm selfish. Say I've changed. Say I abandoned what I set out to be. Now these are the Christians that are saying
100%.
you're not Christian enough. Shout out to, I'm not gonna say who, but I had a friend like that, and then he converted to Christianity, left the band, gave away reprioritized what was important in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it that way, and is a really genuine dude on the team. And then he went back to his band, and then all these people that don't know him, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have no idea about what he's been doing for God and all, because he doesn't blast that shit, because he's real. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, there be times I'm like, yo, I want to, and he's like, man, you better just keep your mouth shut, boy. Say I'm selfish, say I changed, say I've been what I said, say I'm different now, say I'm lost, but I'll stay true no matter the cost. So that's, a lot of people, a lot of Christians in the entertainment industry, especially the metal industry, this is your life, man. Is that your unbelieving friends are gonna say, I don't know, man. Things would be better for us if you weren't so preachy. And then your believing friends are going to be like, man, you can't be a Christian.
Your religion.
That's a JLB. JLB jump on the comment section and defend me, because there's one time when somebody said, please stop telling people you're a Christian.
It happens all the time.
Because I swore or something like that. And JLB jumped in there and was like,
Yep.
And I was like, well, I mean, you know, as a Christian, like any Christian at any time can call you out, and as long as they're biblically right, then you have to listen to them. But you know, like, he was like, what the fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Because from their point of view, they're like, these guys are like super preachy Christians, whatever. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and you just have to say to yourself, like, I'm not by myself, I'm with her, you know. So there have been times when I get into it with people, and she'll be like, yo, you should have said that, you should have done that, blah blah blah. And so, like, that's one of the ways, like, I go, okay, I'm not by myself here. Like, if I'm going really off the reservation, like, she's you know what I'm saying? And I got other people in you know, like, they'll call me, they'll pray with me, pray for me, all that type of thing. Like, you know, it's all that. What I hear is, no matter how hard life gets, carry on. Don't get discouraged with the craziness around you. None of this was my kind of rock metal, but I enjoyed being here, and the first song was my favorite. So he says, I'll stand for and fight for what I love and know is right. I'll carry on until my days are gone. So, like, when we first started the channel, people were like, yo, I really like you guys. Just don't talk about your religion.
Right.
Like, oh, you guys are gonna blow up. Just leave the Christianity stuff, you know, out of it. And I'm like, I'd always just put no. I'd always just put no. Like, but I understand, like, for some people, religion is like, you have your life over here and then you have your religion over here, right? But, like, for us, it's not like that. It's like, I can't see reality outside of Jesus. Like, it is more, I'll say this, it is more native to my being than my sexual orientation. Say it that way. Because I've had Jesus since my first conscious moment, and I will have him in my last conscious moment, and you get a window for where your sexuality is activated. Okay? Yeah. And there is a time when that goes away. Right. And it's fascinating. Our culture, people will be completely willing to essentialize their entire being based on their sexual predilections. But then you say, well, my entire being is consumed with Jesus, and that's crazy. But you're going to make your entire identity about who you have sex with, and that's not crazy. So that's why, for me, it's like, I am never, ever going to put Jesus on the shelf or whatever. And it's almost nothing to do with being a good Christian. It's just, I'm not going to be a disloyal friend. Because the fact of the matter is, everybody is going to betray you, man. Jesus is the only friend I've ever had that never betrayed me.
And you're going to betray people too.
And so, like, so I understand for people, it's like, just keep your religion out of it. It's like, yeah, but that's my best friend.
Yeah.
And like, we shed blood for each other. So, like, people don't understand. If you're not in that relationship like that, then I understand why people are like, yo, just put your religion to the side, man. Like, I get it, but it's a completely different thing when you're asking somebody to betray their best friend in public.
The other thing too is, like, we're talking on this platform. Language is the communication that we're using so you can understand what we're trying to say. And Jesus Christ, to me, is more native than language itself. And so you cannot expect me to communicate on the platform of language and leave out something so a part of myself. It would be disingenuous, and it would be, it's impossible. It's literally, it would be impossible for me to do. And that's one of the things that I loved about this channel, you guys specifically, is that nobody was expecting anything. Like if we, you know, we talked about God, and there were some times where, you know, people were like, I'm pretty sure Sori's going to become a witch. Like I was in a really bad place, in a really dark place for years. And there's a bunch of those videos out there.
I remember that.
You know, so yeah, like I was never going to leave Jesus. That was never going to happen. But yeah, it got really dark, and I liked
it. Even if you became a pagan, you still wouldn't.
Right. I'd be like, there's some way we can fit him in this. But yeah, so, you know, no, that's not gonna, and so I understand what the homie's saying, like, this is part of him, and, you know, sell your soul for platinum, deny the truth for gold, you can be the next big thing, you can turn your back on what you know, if you turn your back on what you know. And I think that there's a million ways that this happens to everybody, you know, in your lifetime, where life is about choices. That's the message over and over that I just keep seeing and hearing, is it's about choices. Like this homie's going to choose over and over, and he keeps choosing Jesus. I mean, up until the point of this song. I don't know what he's going to do for his next record, but, you know, up until now, that's what he's choosing, and it doesn't obviously make him super popular. And he said people are saying, you're so selfish, you know, like, it's kind of a weird thing to say, because it's like, that's who you are, so they're saying you're being selfish for being who you are. Like,
well, because
it's going to affect their
it's
numbers.
going to affect the band.
That's
you know?
true.
It's going to affect the band. Like,
that's true.
Your little personal crusade. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he became a Christian after they started their band thing. I did think it was interesting, the whole, like, when he's sitting at the table with the guy in the suit, in the official lyric video.
Well, that makes sense, right? That's the record.
Corporate.
That's a record exec.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pressure. Kevin says, I was supposed to see the last band with my little brother in 2019, but he ended his life a week before the show. I went with my older brother instead. That song kind of helps with my grief. Kevin, do me a favor. I really need you to do this. Send me an email, vincestory@gmail.com.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kev.
I got an interesting story about that for you. So send me an email, vincestory@gmail.com. It's your little brother.
Sorry to hear that, man. But that's what I'm talking about when I talked about at the beginning of this video about the table at the end of all of this, you know, like, we're gonna sit around that table, your brother's gonna be there.
Yep. And that, you know, if I was you and I was in your situation, I wouldn't choose this song, especially on my birthday. So you've found some way to process and deal with that grief. That's hopeful to people who have, you know, lost people close to them, especially a brother, especially a little brother.
Yeah.
But to your point, Kevin, it's about, I'm going to carry on. You carry on until your days are gone. You know, your brother's days are gone, but yours are still here. And it's a song that says, I'm going to commit to keep living, man. Mm-hmm. And people don't know this, but your chances of suicide go exponentially higher if a close family member or friend does that. So it's very important that people get healthy as best as they can, you know, mentally. And I just think it's just crazy to me that you had that association, but you took from the song the intention of the song, which is you got to carry on. And the fact of the matter is, shit. KJ says, my baby brother. Yeah, man. It's, that's difficult. So, you know, the older we get, the more of those conversations we're going to have, right? And so that's why I always say, whatever it is, this life goes by really fast, man. Whatever your ultimate philosophy is, guys, whatever your ultimate, man, when you're young, like, we can kind of play around with shit, but a lot of people are a lot older than they realize. And I would just say, you're looking around in the world and all this shit, like, you know that this shit is crazy. And you know we're careening down some hill and the brakes ain't working. We all know. So I would just plead with you guys to investigate your core and your fundamental beliefs, man, because we're gonna have to figure it out together for sure. But yeah, man, like at the end of the day, you got to carry on, no matter what the situation is, whether it's religious persecution, whether it's, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. You got to have some way and some philosophy that's gonna say, I gotta find some way to get back up. And you know, for me, obviously, Jesus is the ultimate because he rose from the dead. So for me, I'm like, okay, we're gonna see his brother again. We're gonna see KJ's brother again. Okay, Kai's got a little bro that he lost as well. That you know, so that's where I'm at.
I mean, I would also add a couple things to that. One, Jesus said, he was talking to this woman. He said, Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though he die. That verse is like something that I hold to a lot. Like, he's the resurrection and the life. And because he died and he rose again, that's how he promised us, like, look, I have that life for you too. And also, like, I think that a lot of us, especially in this community, have hit points in time where we were, you know, suicidal. That was like, that's real, you know, like, and it's a point of hopelessness that you get to where you don't really think about how it's going to affect other people because you're in such a spot yourself. But I think that if there's a way from the other side, so once somebody passes and they're in the spiritual realm, if they can in fact...
I hate that word, passes. I know
with
you don't passion.
Like it. You don't like it. I know you don't like it, but...
Just, they died. They didn't pass. They died. Yeah. They're dead.
Well, I don't believe that they're like in a nothing. That's why I use the word passing also, because...
Dead doesn't mean they're in a nothing.
I don't know. They jumped the great bow and they went, okay. So anyway, the point is, the person is no longer here on planet Earth with us, but they are somewhere else because the spirit never dies. So I think to myself, what if we can't see them, but they can see us? And so if somebody ends their own life, and then on the other side, they're no longer going to experience the pain that they were experiencing here, but they have to see their family members suffering as a result of their choices and their decisions, but they're unable to do anything to change that. Then I think to myself, we know that what they would want for you to go, like, do what you did with that song. Like, that's what they would want. And so I think that your brother would be glad that you were able to take that song and do that with it. And I don't think that he would want you to be hurting and like, just like, no hope left. So proud of you. Not that you need me to be proud of you, but I know that I don't know what it's like to be in your situation, but I feel for you in that situation to lose your baby brother, especially a week before the show that you're going to do together. That's super painful. My heart goes out to you. Prayers for you and yours. But again, Jesus, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though he not pass, die.
Good. This silent count for me. Really, really good song, bro.
This is a 9.8 for me. Love the song, love the clean vocals, and I like the message. Interestingly enough, when were you going to say something?
Yeah. This is officially our last song, but stick around for a little bit, guys. I'm going to be on the wait screen. I'll come right back to you guys. Just give me 1 second. All right, we're back.
When this is just like on a little separate note, when I did hear the song, because as I said, I take it from my own personal point of view, and I thought it was interesting because
wow,
we had what
Kevin says, I go to church every Sunday even before he died. In the end, he encouraged me to enjoy life. I've been to many great shows since then. Yeah, man, that's the way to do it, bro. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of not leave everybody on a sad note, but maybe we're supposed to just leave it here. I don't know.
I mean, I just think that Kevin is using the metal the way it was intended to be used, man. And there's what happened, which we cannot control, but then there's how we respond to it, which we have some control over. And he made healthy choices. And again, like, this is one of those things where, like, evangelical Christian, whatever, I'm not picking on them. Those are our people. Like, I understand people are like, oh, it's metal, it's the imagery, blah, like, but unless you've been in this shit, like, with us, you don't get it. Like, I promise you, like, you don't get it. There's a lot of God work happening in these shows, man. So, thank God for metal. Real shit. Real shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in good spirits in the chat. Look, it's Kev's birthday, man. At the end of the day, Kev was born today, and he shared it all with us. So yeah, good spirits for sure. Piscanta Fansfasori, I have no idea who you are, bro. I like your name though, for sure. Cheers from Brazil, Viva Brazil!
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, hey, shout out to DJ freaking Kevin, bro.
Yep.
Very interesting mixture of songs. Like, we had, was it pop punk? I called the other band an emo band. Then we had like 80s hair metal. Then we had a mix. So I hope I see you guys. I hope I see you again as a DJ soon, Kev.
And guys, don't
what
forget.
What else do you have up your sleeve?
Guys, don't forget, Patreon has the list of what's happening, what days during the whole month of April. Even if you're not a patron, you can get that for free if you just go on there and scroll through to see where that one is. I did put that publicly for you guys there. And it does get updated as more streams get added. We have a couple people talking about movie streams coming up. You're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be on Rumble. It's going to be live.
Send me an email if you want to be in the next commercial.
So if you...
VidinStory@gmail.com. We're going to be shooting the next commercial soon. So send me an email if you want to be part of it.
So do that. And then also, if you're on Patreon, and there's a tier that's even as low as $1. They don't have anything lower than that, though. But if you jump on the $1 tier, that's going to even update you every time that list gets added. So we're about to go into May. And when we go into May, that means the whole list starts boom, 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 just filling up fast. So if you want to get those updates as each live stream gets added, if you're on at least the $1 tier, you're going to get those notifications to let you know, hey, there's going to be a live stream coming up. So it's a great way to know what's coming, how to be active, how to be a part of it, and not miss anything that we're doing. Some people roll up as, the last song is playing and they're like, damn it. You can avoid that way. But yeah, if you just want to see the list, you just have to manually go back and check that. That's free for everybody. So keep in mind, you guys, you want to get your Rumble account going. That's free. Don't worry about it. So you can be there when we watch some movies. We are, like I said, 2 of them are kind of in the works right now. So we will let you guys know more as we know more.
My Russian friend said, I can't donate, sanctions. Yeah, bro. Just feed yourself and your family over there in Russia and enjoy the entertainment. This is a pro-Russia platform, by the way. I've been fighting for you guys for the last 4 years, and have cost me very dearly. But right is right, dear listener. So yeah, Viva Russia and the people of Russia. I don't care about politicians, man. I really don't. But I do care about the human beings in that beautiful. Yeah, beautiful land. 100%. So Viva Russia for sure. Look at this. I like many genres. Might share some hair metal, pop punk, emo, and prog.
Oh, nice.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Kevin, but Vin hates prog. So it be what it be.
And Kevin, you are now like officially grandfathered down to the discounted price now. You've bought enough songs, so yay for you.
Oh, that's true.
You,
Oh yeah.
you're never going back to the original price. You're gonna stay at the discounted time. You know what he said? For all perpetuity.
For all perpetuity.
Yeah, so check that out.
I wonder how many people have like gone to somebody else and said, "Hey."
A couple of people have done that.
I mean,
that's a go around. It's a way to do it. It's like if you're making
people
friends,
smart.
make friends.
Smart.
Then if you have a stream coming up, go to that list on Patreon and look and see which days you want, because I keep that updated like in real time. Like
yeah,
as I
got
schedule
a really good
one,
system going.
it's updated there, so you can go on there and figure out which day you want, and then like email me and be like, get me this date.
And so what's happening over there on Patreon? You're gonna do reactions to some funny shorts.
We actually have right now. There's a poll up for you guys to either, there's a couple of different options for like additional content that I would be doing with you guys. Vinny's gonna be more active in the Discord, so that's pretty cool. But right now the highest poll.
Tool is Prague? I wouldn't say Tool is Prague. Who thinks Tool is Tool is Tool, right?
Yeah. It's psychedelic.
I just thought they were Tool. Go ahead.
Right now the poll that's up there, it's like heavily leaning toward like people want to be able to send me like short clips of funny stuff and I react to it. Guys, keep in mind, I am not gonna laugh if I don't think it's funny. So I think I do have a little. My humor is not for everything. So anyway, that's kind of what people seem to be the most interested in right now. So if you want to be a part of those videos, will be locked. Those are not going to be public videos. So if you want to be a part of that, I don't know what tier that's going to be yet. I think it might be on like the $5 tier or something like that, but we'll let you know. But yeah, so those things are up there. There's a lot of interesting things happening. So
why are people convinced that I secretly like prog? If I liked prog, why wouldn't I just say it?
Babe,
I say I like new metal.
I don't know why you keep saying you don't like prog, because there's been so many
because
prog
they always
songs
go off. They always go off and go for like 19
yeah,
minutes
but there's
for no
been a bunch
reason.
of them where there haven't been a lot of them that you've been like that. You were obviously Harlequin Forest. You were like, bleh. But there's been a lot of them that I'm like, this is complete garbage. I don't like this, or I'm being pushed on a conveyor belt, and you're like, actually, I'm gonna give this one a. So I feel like there's just a lot more times that you've liked the prog songs than I certainly have. So I think that's what people are. I guess the viewers have viewed your reactions, and that's what they're commenting on.
I think it's because they want me to like prog. You know what I'm saying? I think they want me.
How many of you? Do you know, like, percentage-wise?
We've literally done thousands of songs.
That's why I said percentage-wise. I feel like the majority, like, you've liked prog. Let's see.
Ben says, Vin, you like Tool, Nabla Rush, and yes, that's prog. You like prog. Nabla is they're prog because they have a violinist.
I don't know what makes them prog. I know that there's some prog that I think is just absolutely ridiculous, and then there's some that are considered progressive, and I'm like, oh, this is...
Was Yes that band that was like really spacey and trippy? There was one band, we were like doing the 60s or 70s or something, and there was like a really spacey, trippy band with like 12-minute songs, and it was so badass because like you literally felt like you were like, it puts you in like a weird, and the visuals, I don't know like the way they did the visuals in the movie, but yeah, that's an individual band though. That's not the genre. I hate the genre.
Okay.
The genre is trash.
Okay.
That's
what Vinny and I do when we're not going to argue about something, but we just disagree with each other.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to learn the fine art of agreeing to disagree.
You also have to learn the fine art of accepting the disagreement and the like agree to disagree part of it. Because before, whenever you don't, but I do.
Oh, you have a problem with that.
You'd be like, okay. I'd be like, wait, but because I really
why do we have to agree on everything?
So
we don't have to agree on everything. Oh,
now I'm just like, when I start I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. Like, what? This is not a big deal. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it must be nice to be able to do that and like have that respected.
I'm getting there.
Because for years I've been like, okay, and so you're like, wait a second.
I thought it was a bad sign. If he was saying that, I felt like you're giving up on me. Like,
I'm just saying we're disagreeing. That's all.
Yeah.
But you felt like there has to be
if we don't agree, then now we're separated. we're separated by our disagreement, instead of just being like, no, it's just that you have an opinion on it and I have an opinion on it, but we're still here.
Well, there are no block streams anymore because we're on Rumble too, so they can't block any of our shit.
Yeah, if there's something that you're like, oh, I didn't get to see my stuff and I really want to get it, and it's just getting blocked on YouTube, send me an email, and I'll get that done for you. Maybe just put the whole one up on.
Also, we're watching movies. We did Elvis. We got somebody else that just did a movie. Got a movie stream. And I am also thinking about miniseries watch-alongs, right? But every time we do something, that means we're not doing something else, right? So we will figure out like how the rates work and all the rest of it, how those tiers are going to work, and all that's going to be. But if you want to be part of the new commercial, send me an email, vinandsoria@gmail.com.
This one. I don't know if you guys can see this.
No.
This is the next upcoming movie?
Let's keep that secret. We're going to keep it secret for now.
I almost announced it.
I know.
Too bad for you guys.
I know.
You know, I was going to let you see it.
Uh-oh.
Sin and Glory is doing a prog rock pull down.
Uh-oh.
Did I read that right?
They're doing a poll.
I read that wrong.
No, it's all good. Okay, guys. So yeah, we do have stuff coming down the line. Had a little hiccup last week, but to Homeboy's point, we had to carry on. So the streaming schedule got pushed back a little bit, but we should be going back to daily pretty soon here.
Wait, hold up, Ben. You're saying you were trying to book a stream and you already sent an email? I did not see that. Just resend it.
He probably sent the email to me.
No.
If you send an email to vinandsoria@gmail.com, you're gonna get me. If you send it to her secret email, you're gonna get her. If somebody's talking to you on Facebook, it's most likely me. If somebody's talking to you on Patreon, it's probably her.
I've been sending millions of messages on Facebook.
That's right.
I'm connected to all three. I have like this business suite app, so it like connects Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Really? That's why you asked me about the TikTok account or whatever?
Yeah, that's how I just linked everything, and so then you can just easily go in. It's actually
pretty suite?
Cool. Yeah,
Shit, I want to use that too.
Yeah, it makes it super easy because you see all the messages coming right up. Unfortunately, the messages. So let me just tell you guys this.
The theme of season 3 is interactivity with us and you guys. That's the theme. We want you guys to get like sick of the direct interaction. That's kind of what we're going for. Go ahead.
Oh, there's so many messages that I was like, I forgot that there was a time where I was like going through a lot of those messages, and then I think I got overwhelmed with it and stopped. But like, there's bunches of messages from like back over the years from all the time. I did respond to some of the old ones back from 2021. Some of the people were like really happy and like grateful to have even gotten a message like years later.
Yeah.
But like some people are like offended that it took so long. So I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'll just respond to a few of those a day. The older ones. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. You guys can check out Vin and Sori, and also I got rid of my Facebook, the Soraya and Vinny one.
Delaney said, I think you responded to me.
Yeah, I did. I found you in there.
Was that her first one? Like, hey, how you doing?
I literally in one night I responded to probably over 100 messages. So you know how my mind is. I'm not gonna be able to. The only ones that I remember were the super sad ones. Unfortunately. Anyway. Oh, actually one happy one. Anyway, yeah. That's that. So those forums are active, those things are happening, and we'll see you guys on the next stream. Let me see here.
Next stream's coming up
tomorrow. We have
mañana.
Tomorrow's supposed to be DJ Nick.
DJ Nick?
That's who's on for tomorrow.
DJ Nick tomorrow, guys. DJ Nick tomorrow. You guys know what it is. Yo, shout out to DJ Kevin. DJ Kevin, we have a tradition here. We're now going to
force you,
the DJ Kevin,
to listen.
Happy birthday song.
To us sing.
The metal version. I don't even know if he's still here. I'm doing 3 clicks.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Dum, dum, dum. Happy birthday to you. Dum, 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 dum. Happy birthday, dear Kevin.
Glad you're with us. Headbang. We can do that. Happy birthday, Kevin. Thanks for coming through, guys. Thanks for coming to be a part of this birthday.
We're gone. Viva Russia. Happy birthday, you beautiful people.
See you guys tomorrow, inshallah.
We out of here. Vin out.
Sorry out.